Hey guys, my name is Unique. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, then you should know that the content covered on this channel is financial literacy and Canadian immigration. If you feel as though this content may be for you, then please remember to comment, like, share, most importantly subscribe, and do not forget to hit that notification bell so you will be the first to know whenever there is a new video uploaded. If you are already an existing subscriber, welcome back guys. So today's video is going to be focusing on the Federal Skilled Workers Program and what I think you should know. So stay tuned and I'll see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, welcome back. As I stated earlier, today's video is going to be focusing on the Federal Skilled Workers Program and what I think you should know. So I'm just going to jump right in. So when it comes to the Federal Skilled Workers Program, you should know that there are 6 selection factors in which an individual is assessed on. And out of those 6 selection factors, there are 3 that have a minimum requirement. And the 6 selection factors are your age, language ability, education, whether or not you have a valid job offer letter in Canada, your adaptability, and your work experience. So the 3 selection factors that have minimum requirements would be the language ability, the skilled work experience, and the education. Okay, so when it comes to the 6 selection factors, you should know that a points grid system is used, rates you out of 100 and has a pass score of 67. Okay, you need to ensure that if you are someone that's watching this video 2 to 3 months from now, you want to ensure that that information is still up to date and still accurate as possible. You should also know that the points system in which is used for these 6 selection factors is not the same point system that is used for the express entry pool. Okay, so when it comes to the 3 selection factors that have some minimum requirements, such as the skilled work experience, you should know that there are 3 job groups. Based on the National Occupation Classification, those 3 job groups are managerial jobs that have a skill level of 0, and then you have professional jobs that have a skill level A, and then you have technical jobs and trades that have a skill level of B. Okay, you should know that there are certain duties in which one must be doing within these occupations, and you must have one of these occupations as your primary occupation. So you could be someone that has worked, in all 3 occupations. However, for the purpose of the application for the Federal Skilled Workers Program, you will need to select which you are going to choose as your primary occupation. Once you do that, you will need to ensure that you are or have been performing some of the duties as outlined in the NOC, and I will leave a link in the description below where you're able to pull that up and see what some of the job duties and requirements are. You could also use it as well to type in your occupation to see what skill level it would rate you as. Okay, so apart from that, you should also know that you are required to work for a minimum of 1 consecutive year in your primary occupation, which is also equivalent to 1,560 hours, which is looked at 30 hours per week. Anything past 30 hours a week, they will not look at. They're just wanting to ensure that you meet the minimum requirements. Okay, you should know that if you are someone that has worked for at least 1 consecutive year within your primary occupation within a 10-year period, then that is also acceptable. That's also okay. You will also need to ensure that you are being paid for your primary occupation. So if you are someone that is volunteering, or you're doing an internship and you're not being paid for it, it will not count. Okay, you will not be getting any points for this, which means that you will not be able to meet the minimum requirement. You should also know that whether or not you work full-time or part-time, as long as you are able to meet the requirement of either working for one full consecutive year or ensuring that you have the 1,560 hours that's needed, then you'll be perfectly fine, whether or not you're working full-time, part-time, or whether you are a student. As long as you are paid or being paid, and as long as you meet the hours needed, then you are perfectly okay. Okay, so when it comes to language ability, you should know that you are going to be assessed on your reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and you must ensure that you pass with a minimum score of 7. You should also know that when it comes to your language assessment, it is only valid for 2 years. After that, you will need to ensure that that is updated if need be. When it comes to your education, if you are someone that went to school in Canada, whether it be high school or post-secondary institution, you'll want to ensure that you submit proof of your transcript. You will also need to ensure if you are someone that is a that received a foreign education, then that education will need to be assessed, and I will also leave a link in the description below of all the different institutions that you can go to get a assessment completed. Okay, so when it comes to proof of funds, you'll be required to ensure that you have enough money to resettle in Canada. When you are resettling, the funds needed must be available on hand at the time that you submitted your application and at the time that you're approved for permanent residence. You cannot use real estate or equity, and you should know that if you have a person accompanying you, such as a spouse, then you can add money that they have in their bank account as well towards the settlement money that is needed. You should know that you should not be borrowing this money from anyone. It should be coming out of your own pocket. You should also know that when you're traveling, whether it be with cash or banker's check or anything that shows that you have monetary value over $10,000, you will need to declare that with immigration. If not, you risk potentially losing that money. When it comes to admissibility, you talk about being admissible, and then you can also talk about being inadmissible. So under IRPA, someone that would be considered inadmissible could be considered inadmissible for one of 5 things. They could be inadmissible due to criminality, due to security, due to health reasons, due to financial reasons, or due to misrepresentation. Okay, so if you don't fall under any of those categories, then you have nothing to be worried about. However, if you have someone that is accompanying you that does have, may have a criminal record or may have some serious health conditions, then your application will be refused because you have someone that is accompanying you that is inadmissible. When it comes to where you want to live in Canada, you are not required to live in an area or a province that you put on your application, because anything could have happened or anything could have changed. However, if you're someone that is gaining permanent residence through the provincial nomination, then you are definitely required to live in that province that you were invited to. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share now, so stay tuned and I hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back. So you should know how to get here by now. If not, you are going to type in CIC into Google and it should pop up with the link to get you here. Once you are inside this webpage, you will scroll down and we are going to select Immigrate. Once we select Immigrate, we are then going to select Express Entry. From Express Entry, we are then going to select how Express Entry works. And then we are going to select Read the detailed requirements for each program. And then we are going to select the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Okay, so on this page here, it will outline everything that you need to know. So I am going to jump right on in. So as I stated in my video, there are 6 selection factors in which one will be assessed on, and that's age, education, work experience, whether or not you have a valid job offer, your language ability, and your adaptability. So out of these 6 selection factors, there are 3 that has a minimum requirement, and those 3 are the skilled work experience, the language ability, and the education, okay? So on this page here, I will not be going through education, language ability, and the skill work experience, because once I select the selection factor point grid, it will outline all the requirements of everything that I just showed you a while ago. So also I stated in the video that the point system that is used for the Federal Skilled Workers Program is not the same point system that is used for the Express Entry Pool. And as you can see here, it has a current pass mark of 67. And as I stated in the video as well, if you are someone that's watching this video months from now, you need to ensure that this pass mark is still accurate, okay? So we are going to select the selection factor point grid. And once inside, we're going to scroll down. And as you can see, it outlines the maximum points in which one can gain from the language skills. And here you see the outline that you're tested in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And remember that your language assessment will only be valid for 2 years, after which you'll need to have that updated, okay? And as it states here, you need a pass mark of at least 7 in all 4 language areas. So I'm just going to skim through this information because I already covered pretty much the majority of this in my video. But this, I still wanted you guys to see where you can find the information and how you can access it. As you can see, it has the points grid for the language ability, and they have it broken down into the different areas. And it shows you how much points you can get if you speak a second language. And as you can see, for education, you will earn a maximum point of 25. If you were, schooled in Canada, whether it be post-secondary or secondary institution, obviously you will need to provide proof of your diploma or degree. If you have a foreign education, then obviously you need to know that education will need to be assessed. And I quickly just want to select here so you guys are able to see some of the organizations that you can go to get your credentials assessed. Okay, so you have the World Education Services, International Credential Assessment Service of Canada, Comparative Education Services, International Qualifications Assessment Services, and International Credential Evaluation Service. So I will be leaving the link for this page in my description below, so you guys can just click it and it will bring you directly to this page here that we're looking at in real time. Okay, so I'm just gonna come out of that. I just wanted you guys to see how you can find that information. For work experience, as you can see, you can earn a maximum of 15 points. And I already broke down how the National Occupational Classification works. So here you'll see how many points you gain based on your years of skilled experience. As you can see, the more years of experience you have, the more points you're able to gain. As you can see, when it comes to age, once you pass 35, you start losing points. So if you're someone that's between the age of 18 and 35 and you haven't quite decided if this is the route that you want to go, you may want to, make your decision as soon as possible. Okay, and let's see here. As you can see, if you have a valid job offer from a Canadian employer, you can gain up to a maximum of 10 points as well. Scroll down. Adaptability. So for the adaptability, they have this broken down into 6 categories, I believe. Let's see. Your spouse or partner's language level, your past studies in Canada, your spouse or partner's past studies in Canada, your past work in Canada, your spouse or common. Yeah, perfect. So they have it broken down in 6 different categories. As you can see to the side here, it shows you how much points you will gain, if each of these categories apply to you. So if you have a relative living in Canada, then that works in your favor. If you have arranged employment already in Canada, then that also works in your favor. If you have your spouse accompanying you and they have Canadian work experience, that's also great. So all of these things works in your favor because it helps to boost your points. All right. So I am going to hop out of there and go back. So now that we're back to the home page here, we are just going to scroll down and we are going to talk about proof of funds. As you can see, it shows you that you need to have proof of funds if you are coming to Canada, and I will go through the chart to show you the money needed. Obviously, you can see here if you are legally able to work in Canada, or if you have a valid job offer from a Canadian employer, then you are exempt from showing proof of funds. So I'm just going to click the link right here. We're going to go on in and we are going to scroll down so I can show you the chart. And as you can see here, so when you count your family members, you also have to count yourself. So if there's 3 of you, that's yourself, your husband, and a child, then you are looking at $19,836 that you will need to have in resettlement funds. Okay. Like I said in many of my videos, guys, if you are someone that's not able to afford a lawyer or a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, then I urge you to read all the information that is outlined, as it helps you, and it helps in ensuring that you have a well put together application. Okay, so there you go. I'm not going to go through everything that's here, as I've already stated that anything that has a monetary value over $10,000, you will need to let immigration know. Okay, so I'm going to come out of there and go back, and now we are on admissibility. So when it comes to admissibility, you can look at it as being inadmissible or being admissible. So in my video, I spoke about, those who are inadmissible and some of the reasons that can cause a person to be inadmissible. So I'm actually just going to show you in the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. If you type in IRPA and you just select the first one here that pops up, you scroll down. And we are going to select inadmissibility. And I just want you guys to see the 5 categories in which someone can be inadmissible. As you can see here, security purposes, serious criminality. I'm going to go to the next page. As you can see, health grounds, and I want to pay special attention to health grounds, and I'm just going to read here. So it says a foreign national is inadmissible on health grounds if their health condition is likely to be a danger to public health, is likely to be a danger to public safety, or might reasonably be expected to cause excessive demand on health or social services. As you can see below that, there is an exception. So it says paragraph 1C here does not apply in the case of a foreign national who has been determined to be a member of the family class and to be the spouse, common law partner, or child of a spouse within the meaning of the regulation, has applied for permanent resident visa as a convention refugee or a person in similar circumstances, is a protected person, or is where prescribed by the regulations the spouse, common law partner, child, or other family member of a foreign national referred to in any of the paragraphs A to C. So what this means is people who are inadmissible for health reasons, if they are gaining permanent residence through the family class or through the refugee, then they are exempt. So this will not apply to them. They will not be inadmissible on their health grounds because they fall in the family class or they fall in the refugee class. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. So when I scroll down here, I want you guys to see inadmissible family members. So this is what I was talking about in my video. It's that a foreign national other than a protected person is inadmissible on grounds of an inadmissible family member if their accompanying family member, or in prescribed circumstances, their non-accompanying family member is inadmissible, or they are accompanying family member of an inadmissible person. So it says exception in the case of a foreign national referred to in subsection 1 who is a temporary resident or who has made an application for temporary resident status or an application to remain in Canada as a temporary resident. Okay, so as you can see here, this is where you will find the information when it comes to inadmissibility. So I just felt it was important for you guys to see that. Okay, so when it comes to where you can live in Canada, when you fill out your application, it will ask you where you want to live, but you should know that you aren't required to live, where you put down on your application, because anything could have happened, anything could have changed. So that's perfectly okay. As stated here, the only people that are required to actually live in a specific area that's listed on their application are those who are gaining permanent residence through the provincial nomination. Okay, all right, so that is it. Hey guys, welcome back. I really hope that you enjoyed this video today. Please remember to comment, like, share, most importantly subscribe, and do not forget to hit that notification bell so you will be the first to know whenever there's a new video uploaded. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.